In the second video of this hands-on tutorial, we're going to do application testing. And I know it's boring, but I cannot stress enough how important this step is. I've seen so many DDG projects fail because people didn't take the time to properly test their applications before going out into the field and trying to collect real data. So in order to test our application, we need to do two things. We need to publish the application and we need to create a mobile worker account. So let's go back to our Comcare site. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to users and then mobile workers. So this is what your mobile worker page should look like. I'm going to click on this green button and I'm going to create a tester account. First name tester, last name tester, and a simple password 1 2 3 4 5 6. Now, when you're testing your application, it is very important that you create a username like this, tester. And that is because it'll make it a lot easier once you export your data to filter out your tester data. And also try to just keep it with one tester account. I've seen organizations make various tester accounts for different people. It's really not necessary. Just have one tester account, and then when it comes time to create your visualizations, just filter out all the tester data. So next thing we need to do is we need to publish our application. So on the applications tab here, I'm going to click my super simple survey application. And it already brings us automatically to the deploy page. So I'm going to create a new version. So we see version 12. This version tells us how many times we've saved the application whilst working on it. And then I'm just going to start it. You don't have to worry about that too much now. We'll get into that later. And then just add a comment. This is good practice to do. So let's say pilot. And then here I'm going to click publish. So this gives me a code which I can now use to enter into my BlueStacks. So I'm just going to copy this code and then I'm going to go to my BlueStacks. So if you followed the previous tutorials on downloading and installing BlueStacks, you will have also downloaded Comcare from the Google Play Store. So let's just click on the Comcare application. So this is the screen that should show up. I'm going to select this enter code. I'm going to paste in my code and then I'm going to click the start install bar here. And then let's press the green button on the left. So as you can see, it's setting up the application. And there we go. This is the login page. Now we've just created the mobile worker account, so this should work. So if we try tester and then 1 2 3 4 5 6, log in. It's going to sync with the server. And there we go, it's logged in. So here we can see a few buttons. There's a start button, the sync with server button, and finally the log out button. So we don't have to worry about these other two buttons, but for now I'm going to press this green button. And then here we see the application, super simple survey, the module, which is surveys. When I click on the surveys module, it shows me the forms that are inside the module, which for now is only the super simple survey. So I'm going to click that one. And there we go. We see the first question. Let's compare. The first question was the label question that we set up. Welcome to the super simple survey. I would like to ask you some questions with your permission. So once this is finished loading, we'll be able to see. Yeah, so there it is. Okay, great. So this is just a message to the mobile worker or enumerator to read out to the respondent. Great. And now it's asking for the name. So the first person we're interviewing, we can just make up their name. Let's say Mary O'Rourke. Then we'd ask them their date of birth. And you can enter anything you like in here. Maybe the 26th of November. Mind you can also click these and then enter them manually. So we could say 1967. The next question from the following list of countries, where would you most like to visit? So remember the choice values we added? Those are now displayed here. And remember we made these questions required. So this one, for example, and that means that if we try to continue without answering this question, it won't let us. So let's choose a question. Let's say Mary would really like to visit India out of all of these countries. Then we're going to ask, do you own any pets? If yes, then great. If no, it's going to skip that last question. And we can see that here. We're able to finish the survey without answering the last question. I'm going to select yes. And again, how many pets do you own? If we try 0 and we click finish, it says, oh, our response is invalid. If I try to enter letters, it won't do anything. So I'm just going to say 2 and then finish. Great, so let's just do a few more entries like this and then come back later. So after you've submitted about 10 or so test forms, what we need to do is we need to go to data and export forms from the Comcare site. And we're going to create a new export. Select the application, super simple survey. I'm going to select the module, which is surveys, and finally the form, super simple survey. And as you can see, I put in about 8 test forms. So if you haven't done this yet, please do about 8 or 10 test forms before exporting the data. Now here I can edit my export. So I'm going to select an Excel 2007 file. And I'm just going to leave these all selected. So here we can see what is the Excel file going to look like. First of all, we have a bunch of our questions, and then we have some metadata, such as the form ID, completed time, started time, the username, which will be the tester in all cases, when did the server receive it, and the case ID and case name, which obviously in this case we won't have. So after I'm happy with all of these settings, I'm going to click on Create. And there we go. There's my survey. And I only have to create this export once. So even if I start adding more data to it now, it doesn't matter. All I have to do is click Export. So let's try that. Okay, so who am I going to export the data for? I'm going to export it for all the mobile workers, and I'm going to export it for all the different ranges. So all the date ranges, and then prepare export. And then we're going to download the data. Great. So if you're using Google Chrome, your download should pop up here. So let's click it. And here we see our data presented to us in a very nice tabular format. So again, in the data export, the number, as in row number, form ID, which is a unique ID generated for each form, our name, so these are just some random names that I entered, the date of birth, which as you can see again, all in a very nice logical format, starting with the year, then the month, and then the day. Where would you most like to visit? All of the countries that we entered. Do you own any pets? Yes or no. How many pets do you own? Again, the numbers. And where they answered no, we have null values indicated by these 3 hyphens. And then we have our metadata. So completed time, started time, our username, which is tester in this count, in this instance, and then received on. So we've finished testing the application, we've exported the data, and in the next video we're going to use Power BI to import that data and create a super simple dashboard.